We navigated serpentine channels where roots clutched at our hull like skeletal fingers. The air thickened, wet rot and unseen blooms. Spanish prisoners murmured prayers, crossing themselves at stone plinths half-drowned in brackish water. Ciudad Ahagada, their mate whispered, the drowned city. Ahead, Valdez's cove emerged, cannons bristling from a limestone fort. But the tide was ebbing. As seawater retreated, it exposed not sand, but moss-slicked steps descending into darkness. Between them, a circular shaft yawned, a sacrificial cenote. Gold ingots glinted dully where waves had receded, scattered atop carved glyphs depicting feathered serpents devouring hearts. Governor decorates with dead king's treasure, Higgs spat, but his eyes stayed fixed on the well. Its depths swallowed light. We anchored silently beyond the reef. I led the boarding party through waist-deep water, cutlass high. Valdez's sentries never saw us coming. Their eyes were on the sea, expecting frigates. Crimson bloomed silently in the mangrove shadows. Inside the fort's courtyard, the cenote dominated. Close now, the gold wasn't merely scattered. It formed a spiral leading into the well's mouth. Among the ingots lay objects that didn't belong. An obsidian blade crusted in emeralds, a jade mask with hollow eyes. Wilkins reached for a coin. His hand froze mid-air. A low hum vibrated through the stone beneath our boots, felt in the teeth, not heard. Higgs kicked a gold bar. It clattered against a carved skull at the well's rim. Load it, quick and quiet. But as crewmen bent, the glyphs around the cenote began to weep. Not water. Thick, dark fluid seeped from stone serpents' mouths, smelling of copper and spoiled meat. Blood moss, Ted called it later. Bad omen. Below, water churned. Bubbles broke the surface like boiling pitch. Something pale and ragged floated up, a Spanish helmet encrusted with coral. Then another, and another. Dozens rising silently, the sacrificial well disgorging its dead. Cooper's ghost hadn't waited for dawn. The crew's whispers died. Only the hungry hum remained, swelling as the tide began its return. Gold shimmered under rising water. The well's depths whispered promises and warnings. Valdez wasn't just hiding treasure. He'd woken what guarded it. My breath hitched. The weeping glyphs, feathered serpents swallowing hearts. Identical symbols adorned Cooper's corpse before sharks took him near Tortuga. Thorne had muttered charms as he tossed Cooper's weighted shroud overboard. Asterisk payment rendered, asterisk he'd said. Back then, I thought it rum-addled nonsense. Now, staring at those weeping stones, understanding curdled my blood. Thorne hadn't just bargained with governors. He'd fed crews to asterisk this asterisk. His trembling hands, his sudden fever, not sickness. Guilt, or perhaps communion. Higgs staggered back, boots slipping on slick stone. Devil's work. He clutched his cat-o'-nine tails like a prayer rope. Valdez's sentry corpses lay forgotten. The cenote bubbled violently. A skeletal arm breached, draped in rotted Spanish uniform, then vanished. The humming deepened, resonating in my skull. Cooper's tattoo had burned blue before he died. Thorne claimed it was cheap ink. Liar. Each doomed crewman carried that mark, a signed contract for the deep. Load nothing, my command echoed off wet limestone. Ted froze mid-reach, fingers inches from a jade mask. Its hollow eyes seemed to track him. This isn't plunder, it's bait. Valdez's trap wasn't naval. It was sacrificial. Feed the entity gold or blood to keep it slumbering. Thorne had paid in men. Valdez paid in treasure, until we arrived. The Spanish mate crossed himself repeatedly, lips moving in silent prayer. La serpiente emplumada, he breathed. It hungers. Behind him, seawater surged back, swirling around the cenote's spiral path. Dark shapes darted beneath the surface, long, sinuous, too fast for sharks. Glyphs wept thicker now, staining gold black. A thunderous asterisk crack asterisk split the air. Limestone fractured around the well's rim. The hum became a roar drowning Ted's curses. Water geysered upward, carrying with it things that were once men, skeletal hands clutching rusted swords, coral-crusted skulls screaming soundlessly. Among them, Cooper's face flashed pale and accusing, seaweed hair streaming. Then the tide rushed in, swallowing the courtyard in a churning, frothing maelstrom. The realization struck like cold iron. Valdez hadn't just hidden gold. He'd herded us here during the spring tide's peak when the cenote's hunger peaked. We weren't thieves. We were the final sacrifice, the crew whose blood would seal the serpent's pact. Thorn's trembling fingers, his fever, the ritualistic disposal of crews like Cooper, all made sense. He'd known what lurked here, known Valdez fed it. "Higgs," I roared above the deafening hum. Seawater surged to our knees, icy and thick with silt. "The powder barrels, from the Santa Cruz, roll them into the well." Ted understood instantly, abandoning the jade mask. He and Higgs stumbled toward the sealed kegs stacked near the fort's shattered gate. The Spanish mate screamed warnings, clawing at glyphs that now pulsed with sickly green light. "Ease la garganta," the throat, only the heartstone breaks it. The water climbed our thighs. Sinuous shadows darted beneath the surface, brushing legs with rough, scaled flanks. From the cenote's mouth, a column of water rose, twisting impossibly into the shape of a feathered serpent's head, eyes of liquid obsidian fixing on us. The air tasted of ozone and decay. Ted rammed a granado spike into the first powder keg's bung hole, splicing fuses together. Higgs shoved it towards the churning vortex. "Now, Captain, or we feed the fish." The serpentine waterhead lunged, jaws gaping endless black. I plunged my torch into the fuse cord. Sparks hissed, racing toward the submerged keg, just as the tide swallowed us whole. The blast came not as sound, but as a silent, crushing pressure. Water turned solid, hammering ribs. Light vanished, replaced by a deep, resonant asterisk thrum asterisk that shook bone. Then, a detonation deep below, muffled by tons of water and stone. The courtyard floor heaved. Jagged cracks spiderwebbed through the limestone, glowing crimson from within. The serpentine water column shattered into vapor. The deafening hum choked off, replaced by a guttural, dying screech that vibrated the teeth. We surfaced gasping, coughing brine and blood. Around us, the cenote collapsed inward, huge slabs of glowing stone crashing into the depths. The weeping glyphs darkened, their fluid flow ceasing instantly. Gold ingots tumbled into the fissure, swallowed silently. The hungry shadows beneath the water writhed once, violently, then dissolved like smoke. Silence fell, broken only by the suck of retreating tide. The courtyard was a ruin, littered with shattered stone, seaweed, and the scattered bones of the cenote's victims. Valdez's fort lay broken, but the governor wasn't amongst the dead sentries. He'd watched, he'd planned this, and he'd escaped. Higgs hauled himself onto a tilted slab, dripping and wild-eyed. He stared at the collapsing pit where the heartstone had been. "Paid in full, Thorn," he rasped. Then he spat into the churning foam, eyeing the jungle's dripping canopy where Valdez's trail vanished. "Now we hunt." We pursued Valdez through mangrove tunnels thick with stench, rotten eggs and blood moss. Ted's powder burns oozed as he scanned for ambush. Ahead, smoke plumed above the canopy, acrid and sweet. Colonial sugar mill. Valdez's last bolt hole. The mill yard stank of scorched molasses and despair. Valdez stood amidst pyres of burning ledgers, silhouetted by flames that consumed decades of bribes and betrayals. His velvet coat was singed. He didn't turn as we breached the gate. "Late, Grinn." He called, tossing another ledger into the fire. Pages curled black, revealing inked names, Thorns among them. The cenote's appetite needed management. Movement in the cane fields. Chains rattled. Shadows detached from the gloom, Mayan laborers, skin etched with Cooper's blue serpent tattoo. Their eyes held no fear, only centuries of silence. Machetes, rusted but sharp, gleamed in firelight as they encircled Valdez, not guarding him, trapping him. Valdez laughed, high and brittle. "They sing of you in the dark, Captain. Thorn brought them to the cenote. Valdez paid them in chains." His hand fluttered toward a burning page. Ledgers note every soul fed to the serpent, their brothers, sons. The nearest Mayan stepped forward. His chains hung broken. The blue tattoo coiled around his throat like a noose. He spoke in fractured Spanish, each word a blade. "You bleed like the rest." He raised his machete not toward us, but toward Valdez. Higgs stiffened beside me, cutlass low. Clever bastards. Valdez had traded gold for lives, but these men traded vengeance for eternity. They'd waited in his own fields, marked by the same curse that drowned Cooper. Now silence broke. Machetes lifted as one. Valdez's smile froze. The fire cracked like breaking bones. The air thickened with the scent of burning sugar, cloying, suffocating. Valdez's eyes darted from the advancing Mayans to our cutlasses, realizing too late he stood at the crossroads of two hungers. "They're savages," he spat, backing toward the pyre's heat. "I gave them work, shelter." The lead Mayan, face gaunt, eyes like obsidian shards, didn't flinch. "You gave us chains and the serpent's mark." His machete arced down. Valdez screamed, stumbling into the flames. Fire licked his brocade sleeve. He scrambled away, batting at embers, but the circle tightened. Machetes rose and fell in a terrible, silent rhythm, not frenzy. Ritual. Blood soaked the ash-choked earth, dark as molasses. Higgs spat. "Quick's too kind." Ted watched, granado forgotten in his hand, face unreadable. The Spanish mate crossed himself, then touched Cooper's tattoo beneath his shirt. Ghosts fed at last. When it ended, the Mayan leader turned to us. He wiped his blade on Valdez's ruined coat. "The serpent's debt is paid." His gaze lingered on Ted's burns, Higgs' whip-scarred knuckles. "But the mark remains." He pointed west, where jungle swallowed the horizon. The city drowned. The heart shattered, but the deep remembers. A tremor shook the ground, distant, deep. The cenote's death throes, or something stirring in its grave. Higgs hefted his cutlass. "Orders, Captain." The Mayan's eyes met mine. "Leave, or wear the blue." Firelight danced on machetes already stained. Behind them, cane fields rustled with unseen watchers. Dawn bled crimson through the smoke. "The mark stays," the Mayan leader said, his Spanish rough as coral. "Blood pays debt, but debts linger." He gestured toward the jungle. "Leave or become guardians." His eyes held millennia of drowning cities. Higgs spat near Valdez's mangled torso. "Guardian of what? That screaming hole." "The deep stirs," the Mayan replied. Heartstone shattered, not silenced. He knelt, tracing a glyph in ash, a serpent swallowing its tail. "You broke its prison, it will hunger again." From his belt, he withdrew a rolled oilskin. "Sail west. Beyond serpent reefs, find the obsidian isles." Our ancestors fled there, before the cenote swallowed them. He tossed it to my feet. Maps. Escape routes scribed in faded ochre ink. "Price?" I asked, eyeing the ash glyph. His machete pointed at Higgs' whip scars, Ted's burns. "You carry its anger in your flesh, like us. Swear never to hunt our shores again." Silence stretched, thick as molasses smoke. Then he added, softer, "We gift passage." A nod. Mayans melted from cane shadows, returning laden. Gold ingots, not Valdez's cursed hoard, but rough nuggets from upland rivers. Bolts of dyed cotton brighter than parrots. Fresh water casks, and sacks of strange tubers smelling of earth and spice. "Feast first," the leader commanded, not invitation, ritual. By sunset, the mill yard transformed. Pits glowed with roasting peccary. Clay pots bubbled with chili-spiked stew. Mayan women wove palm fronds into crowns, placing them on our heads. Higgs flinched like touched by a spider. Ted grinned, devouring roasted yams. The Spanish mate wept silently, clutching a Mayan amulet, a jade serpent with broken fangs. Toothless, the Mayan leader murmured beside me, handing me a gourd of bitter chocolate laced with honey. Like the deep thing now, he tapped the map case. Drowned City's sister lies there, walls above waves, mostly. His gaze drifted to the sea dragon anchored offshore. Your ship bleeds. He signaled. Silent men slipped into dusk-lit waters, bearing bundles of corking oakum and palm fiber pitch. Hammers rang faintly on hull timber, a rhythm like distant drums. Higgs nudged me, mouth full. Their gold's cleaner than thorns. He watched Mayan boys polish Spanish muskets with sand. Clever savages. The leader overheard. Savages bury governors, he said flatly. Clever men sail west. He rose. The feast ended swift as it began. Mayan families vanished into cane shadows, leaving only stacked supplies and the scent of sacred tobacco. Dawn found the sea dragon's timbers corked tight, her holds whispering with untarnished gold. The anchor weighed. Wind filled patched sails. Higgs stood at the stern, watching the burning mill shrink. Guardians, he scoffed, but his hand brushed the serpent glyph scar beneath his shirt. Ted sniffed the wind, westward, salt and strangeness. The map lay open on the helm. Beyond the serpent reefs, the obsidian isles beckoned. A drowned city's sister. And Thorne's ledgers had hinted Madrid wasn't the only crown craving gold. If you liked this video, please consider liking and subscribing to see more. Also, feel free to suggest future short stories in the comments. From the bottom of my heart, I hope you have a great day and thank you for your time.